Hey guys, it is May the 12th, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. I did not think I was going to be able to get today's video filmed. I just really did not think it was going to happen. It's a really long story, but it's been raining really, really heavy here for the past few days, and yesterday it was like seriously like a historic rain. I've never seen this much rain here, ever. Even when we had the hurricane come through, it did not do as much water damage as was done over this weekend. And last night, just by itself, it completely washed out our driveway, the whole entire thing. We have two really big hills on our driveway. There's one that goes down when you come in, and there's another big hill coming up. We live up on top of a hill here, and it's not a small hill either. It's really big. And last night the driveway just completely washed out, and I am so glad that this morning I woke up when my wife was getting ready, and I told her I needed to go take a look at the driveway real quick before she left with the kids, and I'm so glad I did, because when I went out there and took a look at it, I just looked at the hill on our side. There was a huge hole right dead center in the middle of our driveway that was about 4 feet deep, probably 4 or 5 feet wide, about 6 feet long. It's just this humongous hole, and if she had gone down the driveway and wasn't paying attention and had dropped down to that hole, it would have totally messed up our truck. It would have definitely ripped the bumper off, and who knows what else would have happened. She would have gotten stuck for sure. It would have turned into a huge disaster. But I was out there like 6:30 this morning on the tractor, and I was able to patch the driveway up just enough for her to be able to get out of here. I followed her all the way. Well, I drove first and went up the other hill out of here, and then found another humongous hole and had to direct her around it and move a bunch of logs out of the way. She basically had to drive through the woods to get out of here this morning, but I was able to get her out. And my kids have like exams this week, and it was a big mess this morning. But after that, I have spent the whole entire day working on our driveway, trying to get it straightened out. And it's been raining on me all day while I was trying to do it. I am so tired right now. I was already fatigued before I even got started today, but I had to get that straightened out. And it's almost 6 o'clock right now. I made a promise to one of the subscribers that I was going to do today's video, and I came so close to saying that I just couldn't do it, but I'm not going to break my promise. And I know that today's video is not put together the way that I would have preferred it to be. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I had to kind of throw these notes together, but I'm making the video, so bear with me. I apologize. It's been a really rough day today, but anyway, what I wanted to talk about is basically you have been diagnosed with liver disease, and now what? What do you do after this? Where do you go? And the thing is that one of the subscribers told me that her husband has just recently been diagnosed, and in the live she was asking me, what kind of food should my husband eat, or what should I give him? And I said, that's a lot to go through in a live video. I'm trying to keep up with all the comments, and if I had stopped and tried to go through all that in the live, it would have held everything up. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and do a video for you on Monday and discuss this. So that's the video that I'm doing today. And I said I would just discuss diet, but I really wanted to talk about a bunch of different things, like what to expect when you first get diagnosed, and a lot of like little tips. I'm going to talk about diet today, some medication stuff, just a whole bunch of different things. Basically, this is kind of like, you just found out you got diagnosed with liver disease. Now, what do you do from here? For those of you that have recently got diagnosed and, you don't know where to start. And that's what this video is going to be about today. I'm going to go ahead and start today's video off and just say this first thing. One of the most important things, I think, when you find out that you have liver disease, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but that's coffee. Black coffee is really good for the liver, and they recommend like 3 to 4 cups of black coffee a day to really see the benefits of the coffee. Now, when I say coffee, I mean black coffee. That's no sugar, no cream, no anything else in there. Just straight black coffee. Now, will decaf do the same? I don't think it will. I think it actually needs to be a regular coffee. Now, it can be dark roast, it can be light roast, it can be whatever kind of coffee that you prefer. Just black coffee, though. You don't want to put any sugar or anything like that in there, but the black coffee is really, really good for the liver. There have been a whole bunch of scientific studies that they have done on this, and do your own research, and don't take everything I say at my word. Go back and fact check what I'm saying here. But there have been a bunch of studies about black coffee in the liver, and like I said, about 3 to 4 cups a day. I drink more than that, but at the same time, not only is the black coffee great for the liver, but the other thing is that you get that little bit of caffeine, and it just helps, because one of the things when you find out that you have liver disease is you're going to be really tired. I would imagine you probably already were tired before you found out that you had liver disease, but it's just one of the things that comes along with it is the fatigue, and the coffee just helps give you just a little bit of energy. And when you're tired all day long, every little bit helps. And once again, not only is it great for your liver, but it's going to help you just give that little extra pep. And it's just a nice treat to have. We stopped drinking alcohol. If you go to an AA meeting or something like that, what's the one thing that they always have at an AA meeting? Coffee. There's always coffee at an AA meeting. And, a lot of people that were drinkers, after they stop, they switch over to coffee, and that's what they start to drink all the time. And it's a great replacement for alcohol. I love coffee, absolutely love coffee. And I didn't really like coffee that much before I got sober, but since getting sober, I absolutely love coffee now. Drink it all day long. I just really enjoy it. And like I said, do your own research, fact check what I'm saying here, but it is great for the liver. I also got here, that you're going to be tired all the time, like I just said, and you will be. The thing is that when your liver is scarred, it's not getting the blood to flow through there properly the way that it's supposed to. And our livers have 500 functions. So there is all kinds of stuff going on in our liver. And if the blood's not flowing in there properly, then it's not able to do its proper functions the way it's supposed to. So it's going to lead to you feeling tired. And once again, that coffee helps out a lot. One thing I will say is that if you did find out that you have cirrhosis or fatty liver or something like that, if you feel tired, take a nap or take a break. Get some rest. This is the time that you need to actually rest. Trying to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night is crucial. During the nighttime while we are sleeping is when our body is repairing itself. And it's also doing things like repairing our liver. And the thing is that even though you have cirrhosis or whatever, it's still going to try to repair itself somewhat. And, we don't want to add more damage or, add gasoline to the fire that's already there. But trying to get as much sleep as you possibly can is so crucial. And it's going to help with that fatigue during the day as well. And it's just going to help with, like I said, with your body repairing itself. And, getting sleep is very, very important. Another thing here that I have, and these are just some like little tips that I have here at the beginning. I'm going to go through food and stuff like that here in just a minute. But another very important thing that I have here is exercise. I've spoken about this many times on here, but I found out that I had cirrhosis. I was very sick. I was bedridden for like 3 months, about 3.5 months, somewhere around there. I was walking around with a walker. I was having a really hard time getting around. And I was very depressed during that period of time too. Not only was I sick, but I was depressed. I was really fatigued. I had ascites. I hurt all over. I was just... Living life was very difficult during that period of time, but I was watching YouTube one day and I saw Jennifer Schaefer on here. I've spoken about him many, many times. One of the reasons I started doing these videos, because she motivated me so much, and I wanted to pay that motivation forward. And I started doing these videos in hopes that I might be able to do the same for somebody else. Not only motivate someone who's sick, but to help motivate people to get sober as well. But my point is that the video that I watched, she was walking around in a park with her daughter, and she was talking about how she had been diagnosed with liver disease or cirrhosis, and they had put her on hospice, and she was just on hospice in her house. And one day she just said, I don't want to do this anymore, and she got up out of her bed and started walking around. And she was, like I said, walking around through a park with her daughter, and she was telling her story about how she got there. And I said, if she can do that, I can too. And it got me up, and it got me moving. It got me out of that bed and staying stagnant. They had told me that I had a year left to live, and I basically accepted that and just was like, well, I guess I'm just going to lay around and watch TV all day until this happens. But I'm so glad that I came across that video, because it got me up out of the bed, and it got me to start walking around with my walker and doing small things and pushing myself. I got up every day and told my wife I'm gonna start making the coffee every morning. And that was a really big deal for me, was getting up and making the coffee, but I was doing something. It gave me purpose every single day. And that motivated me so much. Every morning I was the one that made the coffee. I had to get myself up and make that coffee for myself and for my wife before she left to go to work. On the weekends, I was the one up making coffee, and I'm not talking about just hitting the Keurig machine. I'm talking about grinding beans, heating up water, using a French press, all that jazz, and really trying to make some nice coffee for my wife and I in the mornings. And it gave me motivation and something to do. But I just think that's so important to find something. Give yourself goals. Just like I said, like doing the coffee. Maybe you're going to go around the house and replace all the toilet paper in the bathrooms, or just do very small, simple things. But another really important thing is just going for little walks. Just getting up out of the bed. Don't just lay around all day long. I know it's so hard to get up, especially if you have ascites. But just getting up and going for a quick 2-minute walk, maybe a 5-minute walk, and working your way up. I'm not saying get up out of the bed and go for a 5K. What I'm saying is get up out of the bed and go walk around for 2 minutes. Stay very close to your bed. Maybe just walk around your house for 2 minutes. Maybe walk around in each bedroom. Maybe walk outside onto your porch, or walk around the yard for a second. Don't go far, especially if you're alone. And then, as time goes on, progressively start to work yourself up, a little bit more, and definitely, don't put yourself at risk. If you feel like you're going to fall down or something like that, don't push yourself too hard. If you're having a really hard time walking, make sure you use a walker or a cane or something like that. I had to use a walker for months to get around. I had a very hard time walking. I was so weak. I lost all of my muscle mass. It was completely gone. I was just skin, bones, and a big belly, and that's it. And it was very tough for me to start doing those things. But every day, I pushed myself just a little bit more. And every day I got just a little bit stronger. And every day that I got a little bit stronger, that gave me more self-confidence. And the more self-confidence that I got, the better that I felt. And it's not something that just happens overnight. It takes time. You've got to just take it day by day. But taking it day by day, progressively working yourself up just a little bit more. But I think that doing very small little things and working yourself up in your exercise is very important. Another thing as well is start doing something to stay busy, whatever that may be for you. But you have to keep your mind occupied. And this goes for anybody out there that's trying to stay sober as well. We have to find something to keep our mind occupied, because if we don't, we're going to start thinking about the drink again, or whatever the substance is, or gambling, or shopping, or whatever it is. We need to keep ourselves as busy as we possibly can. And I'm not saying that you have to go out there and do a bunch of crazy stuff. I know this sounds ridiculous, but it could be crocheting. It could be sewing. It could be drawing. Get yourself a sketch pad and some pencils or a pen. You could sit down, maybe start writing that book that you always thought about writing. Maybe start reading some books. You could get some knives and start to whittle wood. Anything that you can do. Maybe making bead necklaces or jewelry or just something. Try to find something to keep your hands and your mind busy. I know it's tough to get up and do a bunch of stuff, but find something that you can do sitting on a couch, or sitting in your favorite chair, or laying in your bed if that's where you need to be. But just find something that's going to give you purpose in life. And every time that you make something else, that's just it's going to bring you a lot of joy. Maybe now's the time to open up that online business. Maybe try selling whatever it is that you're making. Just think outside the box. Find something that's going to keep you busy, but maybe is going to give, maybe you can make some money doing it or whatever. I'm just saying, try to find something to keep yourself busy. It's very, very important. The next thing that I have here is medications. And there's going to be a lot of medications, especially in the beginning after your diagnosis. One of the medications that you're most likely going to be on is called lactulose. And what that does is it helps cleanse your body of the ammonia, because you can end up getting, I can't remember the name of that condition, but the high ammonia levels can cause you to be confused and all kinds of things like that. So you just want to make sure that you are taking that lactulose when you're supposed to be taking it. It really does help. I know it's disgusting. I know it's really gross. You won't necessarily have to be on it forever. But, you want to make sure you're taking your medications. And if your doctor prescribes any of these things, make sure you're taking it when you're supposed to take it. And as time goes on, maybe you can get off the lactulose. I don't take the lactulose right now. I haven't taken lactulose in a while. Now, every once in a while, I do have to take it. If I have my blood work done and my ammonia levels are high or something, they'll tell me to take it. Most of the time when I'm in the hospital, I have to take it. But my point is that you want to just make sure that you're taking your medication like you're supposed to. There's another medication called Xifaxan, and this is like an antibiotic. It's very, very expensive. It's about $2,000 a month. But if you actually contact the company, they can help you to get that price of your medication reduced. This is another one of those medications that helps out to prevent that problem that I just can't think of right off the top of my head right now. I'll remember it here in just a second, but it helps with the ammonia levels as well in your body. One of the most important medications that you're going to want to make sure that you have after you find out that you've been diagnosed is Zofran, or anti-nausea medication. Unfortunately, nausea is something that you are going to be dealing with pretty regularly, and the Zofran is a lifesaver. I keep it with me everywhere I go, and I would highly suggest that after you get diagnosed, to go buy yourself maybe a little fanny pack or a little sling pack or something like that. I have one of those like little over-the-shoulder packs that just, one strap across. It's a very small little pouch that I just keep it with me everywhere I go. I have so many different medications I have to carry around me. I have this little, it's basically a cell phone, but I have to have that with me to give myself insulin. I have to carry that on my meds. There's a bunch of other stuff I keep with me, and I just carry that bag with me everywhere I go to make sure that I do have my medications, because I do get nauseous a lot. Very frequently. I take nausea medication 2 to 3 times a day, most days. And this is one of those medications that you absolutely want to make sure that you have. One of the things is that you really want to try to prevent yourself from throwing up, especially if you've had varices burst. It's very important to try your best not to allow that to happen, because when you are vomiting like that, you can unfortunately cause those varices to rupture sometimes from the vomiting. And you want to, like I said, do everything that you can possible to not vomit, and the Zofran is so important. They have 2 different kinds. There are the sublingual tablets, and they have the pills. The sublinguals come in a 4 milligram. They might come in an 8, I'm not exactly sure, but the 8 milligram pill are the ones that I have had the most luck with. I don't like those sublingual ones. They taste nasty. They take a long time to dissolve. I would prefer to just take the pill and just swallow it. And I take the 8 milligram. It takes about 15 minutes. The nausea pretty much goes right away. The only caveat that I will say about the Zofran is it makes you extremely tired. If you're driving or something like that, be careful. There's a lot of days when I'm filming these videos and I have just taken a Zofran. And you could probably tell in my eyes that I'm really tired because I've just taken that pill. It makes me fall asleep a lot of times when I take it, but I'd much rather be sleepy and tired than nauseous. And once again, the Zofran is a very important medication to have. You're probably going to be placed on water pills as well. They have the Lasix, and they have the... once again, I didn't have my notes the way that I wanted them today because I was trying to rush. I ran out of time. But there's 2 different water pills that they're probably going to place you on. The Lasix, they don't like you to be on those for really long. It's spirolactolone is the other one. So you're probably going to be on both, especially if you have ascites. And these are the ones too. You want to make sure that you're going to be close to a bathroom because you are going to be urinating a lot. And I've talked about this so many times on here, but if you're placed on those water pills, and let's say you have a doctor's appointment at 8 o'clock that morning, I would hold off on taking your water pills before your doctor's appointment, especially if your doctor's office is, a 30-minute, hour-long drive or something, because you're going to have to urinate like every 15 minutes. I'm not kidding. So I would definitely hold off on taking that until your doctor's appointment's over and you can get back home, and then go ahead and take it again, because you do have to pee a lot when you take those, but they do help to keep that fluid from retaining, and it helps to get the fluid out too. And especially if you have ascites, you really want to get that fluid off as quickly as possible. Another one too is beta blockers. They give those to you to reduce your portal hypertension, which is basically just high blood pressure in your portal vein. And they want to reduce that down to prevent those varices from bursting. So another one of the medications you're probably going to be placed on. And this is another one of those medications. It takes a while to get used to taking these. I would recommend in the very beginning, take your beta blocker at night right before bed until you get comfortable with those. I took my beta blocker for probably a year and a half at night because they made me so sleepy during the day. Now I take them in the mornings because they don't do that to me like they used to. I've gotten kind of used to them at this point now. But in the very beginning, I had to move them to taking them at night because they would knock me out. I would fall right asleep after I took my beta blocker. Another note that I have here is be very careful with things like milk thistle and these herbs and stuff like that. Speak with your doctor and see what they say about them. My doctor told me personally not to take milk thistle. I asked him about it, and he never really went into detail why, but in the live on Saturday, somebody was saying that the milk thistle actually makes your liver work a little bit harder because it's like detoxing the liver. I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds like it could be. It sounds pretty reasonable. But they were saying that, the milk thistle overworks your liver. And you don't want to take that with cirrhosis or liver issues. Maybe with a healthy liver, it's okay to take. But once again, speak with your doctor before you go taking those. My doctor did not want me taking them. And this is not particularly medication, but just one thing that I did want to throw in here really quick is that getting a walker, especially in the beginning, if you just developed ascites, a walker can be really beneficial on helping you get around. That fluid makes it so difficult to walk, especially getting up and down stairs. Just be very careful with that because the ascites can kind of throw your balance off a little bit. If you aren't used to having all that fluid in your belly, next thing you know, you've got 30, 40 pounds of fluid in your belly, and that can throw your center of gravity off a little bit. A walker might be one of those things that you might want to grab, especially in the beginning. Getting in and out of the car and walking into doctor's offices, you're going to be at the doctor's a lot. And it's just part of this now. And a walker can help a whole lot. And another thing with the walker too, I'll just throw this in here really fast. If you do in fact get yourself a walker, get yourself some tennis balls. Have somebody go grab you some tennis balls, and you want to take some scissors and cut the tennis ball and then put that up on the back end of the walker, the little legs. That way, as you're walking, you can kind of slide that walker across the ground because they have little rubber stoppers on those legs, and it makes it kind of difficult because you have to keep picking the walker up every time you move. But if you have those little tennis balls on those back of the legs, you can slide that walker across the ground. It just makes it just a little bit easier getting around with the walker. All right, I am back. I had to stop and go get my family from the end of the driveway really fast and bring them back home. But anyway, I just finished talking about medication that you're probably going to be placed on after being diagnosed with liver disease. But now I wanted to touch on diet. And diet is one of the most important things about this. And it's going to be one of the things that's going to be able to help you out tremendously, eating the proper foods. When I first got diagnosed, I hadn't spoken to a dietitian at that point yet, so I was kind of lost on what I was supposed to eat. We did a bunch of research online and things like that, but I had been dealing with ascites for a while and was having a really hard time getting the fluid to go away. Ended up speaking, and every single time I would go to my GI doctor, they kept telling me that my vitamin levels were super low, and that I can't remember the name of what they call that, but basically that I was like, I wasn't doing well. I wasn't getting the proper nutrition that I was supposed to because I wasn't eating at all. Because when you have ascites, you feel so full after you get the ascites. It makes eating almost impossible. You always feel like you're full because you have all of this fluid on your stomach that's pushing on your stomach and all of your organs, and it just makes it feel like you have eaten like 10 plates of food at a buffet all the time. And as much as you need to eat, it makes it so difficult to do so. And one of the most important things, after I spoke with a dietitian, my GI doctor was like, I want you to speak with my dietitian here. And I went and spoke with him one day. And this really did change the game for me. And what that is the doctor told me, one, he was like, you need to be getting the proper amount of protein. Protein is one of the most important things that you can get with liver disease because we need the protein for our liver to be able to repair to, as much as it possibly can. And, protein is one of those building blocks that we need for our muscles. If we're not getting enough protein, our body's going to start to strip the protein from our muscle, and it will eat our muscle. Is what ended up happening with me. My body just went and started pulling all of the protein out of my muscle mass, and like I said, I had no muscle whatsoever at all. It'll also start to pull things out of your bones, out of your teeth. I ended up with problems with that as well. I was malnutrition, that's what it is. Every time I would go to a doctor, they kept saying, you're malnutrition, you're malnutrition, you're malnutrition, and that's when I finally went and spoke with the dietitian. He spoke with me about protein and how important that is for me, and he really stressed protein, 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 and I'm stressing that with you right now. Protein is so important with liver disease. And one of the things that helped me out tremendously was he told me to start drinking protein shakes. He told me, I know it's hard for you to eat, I know that you feel full all the time, but maybe try getting some protein shakes. Either make them at home, or you can buy them, or however you feel like you want to do them. You can use, vegetable protein powder. You could use any kind of protein powder that you prefer to use, whatever works best for you. But the protein shakes just make it that much easier to ingest that protein, because you're drinking a liquid, and you don't have to drink the whole thing at once. You can sip on a protein shake over an hour, or 30 minutes, or 15 minutes, or however long it takes you to get that protein shake down. But most of the protein shakes that are out there, have 25, 30, 40 grams of protein, and you really want to be getting, somewhere around a gram of protein per pound that you weigh, or about a half a gram per pound if you're a female. But the protein, once again, is very, very important. And if you drink, 2 protein shakes a day, have one in the morning for breakfast, maybe have one at night for dinner before going to bed. And this is one of those things too. Drinking a protein shake before you go to sleep will help you out tremendously. One, it's going to help you as you're sleeping, as your body's repairing itself. You've got that added protein for your body to help repair your liver. I started drinking a protein shake before I went to sleep every single night, and things really started to change for me after I did that. I started waking up in the morning with more energy. The fluid started to go away. It just started to help me out a lot. I started going to the doctor, and they weren't saying that I was malnutritioned after that because I started drinking the protein shakes. I was drinking 3 of them a day for quite a while. I still will drink 3 protein shakes a day, but not every single day. Usually I'll have a protein shake in the morning. I drink my protein shake. I take my medication with it. One of the things is that I forgot to mention this too, is that you're probably going to be placed on blood thinners. When I take my Eliquis, which is a blood thinner, it gives me a stomach ache if I don't have something in my stomach when I take it. So I'll drink my protein shake and then take my blood thinner and the rest of my medications in the morning. And then I'll have like a protein shake for lunch sometimes. Maybe I won't, but I always have a protein shake at night before I go to bed. And I cannot stress how important that is. Once again, do your due diligence, do your own research, look into it yourself. But the protein shake before you go to sleep is very important with liver disease. It will help you out tremendously. So once again, the protein shakes, they help out a lot. I prefer the muscle milks. I just like them because they do have like 5 grams of fiber in each one of them. They have 25 grams of protein, 9 grams of carbs. And I'm trying, you really want to try as well. I've got this on my notes, but you want to keep your carbs as low as you possibly can. You really want to try to keep those low. There's a lot of reasons why, and I'm not going to delve into all that in this video. I'm just going to stress that you want to try to keep your carbohydrates as low as you possibly can. You want to kind of try to lean towards a keto diet. You don't have to necessarily stick to straight keto, but you want to kind of lean in that direction and try to keep those carbohydrates as low as you possibly can. Once again, there's a lot of reasons why for that. I'm not going to go into that in today's video because it would just suck up the whole video, and I'm really running out of time right now as well. Another thing is, I can't stress this enough, but organic fruits and vegetables. I know that the organic fruits and vegetables can be a little bit more expensive. I totally get that. Sometimes you can get around it if it's something like, let's say, an apple. If you're going to skin the apple, if it's something that you're going to peel the skin off of, sometimes it's not necessarily as bad if you're going to skin it. But if it's something that you're going to eat, like let's say you're going to eat a cucumber and you're going to eat the flesh and you're going to eat the inside of the cucumber as well. Let's say you're going to cut it up into cucumber chips. You want to try to get organic because they spray the produce with all kinds of pesticides, herbicides, and those herbicides and pesticides can be really harmful for our livers. As a matter of fact, it's one of the reasons that a lot of people end up with problems is because of these herbicides and pesticides that are sprayed on the vegetables. You don't want to add any more added stress to your liver by ingesting these. So organic fruits and vegetables, and it's not like you're going to be like eating, just hordes of fruits and vegetables every day. You're going to have a hard time getting anything down anyway. So you might spend a couple extra bucks every week buying the organic version of it, but it's going to pay off in the long run. And also, you want to make sure that you are washing your fruits and vegetables thoroughly. There's recipes out there. There's all kinds of ways that you can do that. Some people use dish detergent to clean their fruits and vegetables. I prefer to use like a salt and vinegar bath to clean my fruits and vegetables. Just basically set up a sink, fill it up with water. Add a good bit of salt and vinegar in there, and then let that salt dissolve in there. Make sure it's all mixed up really good, and then put my fruits and vegetables in there. It's what we did in the restaurant industry. It helps get a lot of that stuff off of there as well. And then you just kind of let it soak in the water for just a little bit. Pull it out, rinse it off with some cool water, and then dry it off. You don't want to wash your stuff too far in advance because if you do, you're going to lead to spoilage. Added moisture to your fruits and vegetables, and then by cleaning them and then putting them back in the fridge, they're going to go bad a lot faster. So wait until right before you're about to eat them. You can go ahead and wash your fruits and vegetables. Like if you know that you're going to have like an apple, maybe a carrot, a stick of celery, maybe a bell pepper or something like that for your day, that's what you have allotted yourself for that day. You can go ahead that morning and wash those things and just leave them out on the counter to air dry, and they'll be completely fine there for the rest of the day. You just don't want to do it like you come home from the grocery store, you go ahead and wash all your fruits and vegetables and then try to put them back in the refrigerator. They're going to go bad a lot quicker. So just do that right before the day of, before you eat them. Another thing as well is you want to stay away from processed foods. If it comes in a box, if it doesn't need to be refrigerated, it's probably processed. If it's not on the outside walls of the grocery store, it's probably processed. You really want to stay away from anything that's in the center of the grocery store. Anything that's dry, any dried goods, it's going to be processed. Now you do have some things that aren't, like rice. Doesn't necessarily have to be processed. You could get some like wild rice or something. But you want to stay away from things like parboiled white rice because they strip all the good stuff off of there. You want to lean towards more things like I said, a wild rice, and things of that nature. And you don't want to eat things like Chef Boyardee or canned soups. You really want to stay away from anything that's in a jar. For one thing that they do is they add a lot of sugar to these products. Another thing that they do is they add a lot of salt to these products. And last but not least, one of the worst things that gets added to a lot of these products are seed oils. And this is one of the things that I have here on my list that you absolutely want to avoid like the plague are seed oils. They are absolutely horrible for your liver. They are saying now that seed oils are like about as bad for your liver as, say, alcohol is for your liver. They are absolutely horrible. Stay away from them. Stay away from margarine. If you're going to eat something like if you need fat, let's say to cook in, or you want to make a salad dressing or something, use olive oil. Use real natural butter. Do not use margarine. Do not use vegetable oil, canola oil, or any of those types of things. Olive oil, avocado oil, real butter, or beef tallow. That's pretty much what you want to stick to as far as fats are concerned. Don't get that bag of powdered donuts or Little Debbie cakes or cereal. You want to stay away from that kind of stuff. It's all processed. Sugars are added to it, all that kind of stuff. Just stay away from it. It is absolutely horrible for your liver. And you don't want to add any more stress to your liver that's already there. Another thing too that works really well is yogurt. You want to get a nice Greek yogurt, low-fat Greek yogurt is really good. It's very high in protein. It's very easy to digest. Now, this isn't something that you want to eat like all day, every day, but I have yogurt pretty much every single day with some blueberries. I'll have maybe a cup of Greek yogurt with a handful of blueberries and maybe just a little bit of real honey that I'll just drizzle just a little bit on top. And sometimes I'll sprinkle a little bit of coarse sea salt on top of there as well. And that's another thing too. Sea salt, Celtic salt, Himalayan salt. These are the kinds of salt that you want to eat. You do not want to eat iodized table salt. Not good for you. I would get probably Celtic sea salt or the Himalayan. It's your preference, your choice, whichever one you want. But stick to those natural salts. They have a lot of minerals that are in them as well, and you want to get those. But while we're talking about salt, you want to make sure that you are not eating more than 1,000 milligrams of salt per day. The extra salt is going to make you retain more fluid, and you do not want to do so. Keep your sodium levels at 1,000 milligrams or less. And while I'm talking about this, I'm going to go ahead and say this as well. If you have ascites, keep your sodium levels to 1,000 milligrams or less per day. And also, you do not want to drink more than 2 liters of fluid per day. The more fluid you bring in, the more fluid that's got to come out. And a lot of times, if we're drinking excess fluid, it's going to get stored in our abdomen as ascites. So measure out what you're going to drink for that day. Make sure that you're keeping track of it and don't go over that 2 liters. And it's crazy. You'll see how quickly you'll get to that really fast, especially if you're drinking a lot of coffee throughout the day. So just pay attention, maybe keep a little notepad or keep track of it on your phone or something, but try to stay at 2 liters or less of fluid. I wouldn't go too much less than that, but you want to stay about the 2 liter mark. And like I said, 1,000 milligrams of sodium or less. Stay away from stuff like pickles or any of that kind of stuff unless you're making them yourself at your house. And if you are going to make pickles, ferment your pickles. The fermentation it adds a lot of really good bacteria to your gut, and that's really going to help you out a lot. Don't go for that jar of store-bought pickles. I know it's easy to grab it and just take it home and eat them, but pickles, take a look at the label. They will blow your mind how much sodium is in those. Just one pickle will pretty much blow your sodium level out for the day. And the ascites, I'm not kidding, it is one of the worst parts of liver disease. And you want to do everything in your power to keep that from happening, and or you want to do your best to get rid of that. So just stay away from all that stuff that comes in a can or a jar or anything like that. You really want to try to stick to eating fresh, organic fruits and vegetables. One thing too is that a lot of times we can end up getting constipated. If you're on the lactulose, not so much, but if you're not on the lactulose, you might end up getting constipated. Sometimes even on the lactulose, you can end up getting constipated. But the fiber in the fresh fruits and vegetables is really going to help you to go to the bathroom, and you want to try to get those toxins out of your body. And we need to excrete those out. And by getting that extra fiber in, it's going to help you stay regular and to get rid of all of that bad stuff. We've talked about seed oil. We've talked about keeping carbs at a minimum. I would try to keep your carbohydrates at like 40 grams of carbs per day or less. And you'll see how quick that adds up as well. I'm diabetic, so I keep track of everything, all of my carbs, and I try to eat the least amount as I possibly can every single day because of that. But it's just really crucial for your liver health to try to keep those carbohydrates as low as you possibly can. You don't want to go out there and eat a bunch of stuff like ice cream and candy and, cakes and donuts and all that kind of stuff. If you got a sweet tooth, maybe grab yourself a couple of strawberries or a handful of blueberries or something like that. That's going to be your best bet. And the blueberries and the strawberries are great. They're low carb. They do have some carbs, but they are lower carbs. Berries are going to be your best bet for fruits. And you're getting a lot of fiber when you eat them, and you're getting a lot of antioxidants as well. They're just great for you. Blueberries are absolutely wonderful for you. I eat them every single day. I just get a handful of blueberries. Sometimes I put them on my yogurt. Sometimes I won't. But I always make sure I wash them. And sometimes, like I said, I'll just grab a handful. I'll wash them off. I'll just carry them around, pop them in my mouth. And they're a wonderful snack to eat. You want to make sure, too, that you're drinking water. Stay away from soda. You do not want to drink that. Number one, it has a lot of sodium in it. Number two, the sugar. Just sodas aren't great for you to drink. I get it. I do drink ginger ale. I drink diet ginger ale. I probably have a can of diet ginger ale basically every single day. I save that for when I start to feel nauseous. It works really well for me. Another thing that I do is I keep mints on me all the time, like Altoids. Those little teeny mints that come in a little can. They are very strong, and if you start to feel really nauseous, mints can help tremendously. It doesn't matter what kind. It could be wintergreen or peppermint, whatever kind you prefer, but the mint, it just helps settle your stomach. I keep those on me at all times. I always have mints on me. No matter where I go, I've always got mints on me. Sometimes I carry around those little Lifesaver, the little round mints. I get the sugar-free ones. There's like 3 grams of carbs in each one. And if I start to feel really nauseous, I'll just pop one of those in my mouth. And it really does help to settle your stomach down. Another thing as well is like mint tea. It's relatively dirt cheap to buy at the store. It's like $3 for a whole box, and you get like 24 little pouches of mint, of the tea packets in there. But if you start to feel nauseous, mint tea is a great option to help settle your stomach down. It's going to be hot. It's going to be a really nice beverage to just sip on, and it really does help to calm your stomach down and just ease things out for you if you start to feel bad, especially if your stomach's starting to hurt. The mint tea or mints can just really help settle that down and soothe your stomach. I think that's it as far as diet's concerned. Like I said, you really just want to try to eat. I didn't talk about meat though. You want to eat about a fist size amount of meat or protein with your meal. Which that's not a whole lot. Maybe 3-4 ounces of protein. You want to try to stick to, a lower fat meat, something that's going to be lean. Pork loin, pork tenderloin, chicken breast. If you are going to eat something like a chicken thigh or something like that, remove the skin. If you're going to eat a steak or something like that, you're probably going to eat something like a tenderloin or a New York strip. Stay away from things like ribeyes, T-bones, porterhouse steaks. Those have a lot of fat on them. So whatever meat that you are going to eat, try to keep it something that's going to be very lean and about 3 to 4 ounces per meal. Another great source of protein are eggs. Eggs are excellent for liver health. There are all kinds of great things that are in eggs. Number one, they're full of vitamins and nutrients. They're 7 grams, I think, of protein per egg. They've got great, good fats in them. There's another thing that's in eggs. It starts with a C. It's like cortisol, but it's not. I can't remember the name. Like I said, I didn't have enough time to get my notes prepped out the way that I wanted to today, but I promised I was going to get this video, so that's why I'm doing it. But I can't remember the name of what it is, but it starts with a C, and eggs are really high in it. But they're just great for liver health, no matter how you eat them. You know, just don't fry your eggs. You can scramble. You can do a very light, like, you know, just put a little bit of oil in the pan and then slowly cook your egg from cold. You want to do a cold start on it. So pour your egg in your pan, drop the egg in there, and then like turn it on medium and let it start to slowly cook up. And it's not going to fry that egg per se. It's just going to just slowly cook it. I think but one of the best ways to eat your eggs though is going to be poached. You can boil them, soft boil, hard boil, however you want to do it. But poaching eggs is a very easy and a super healthy way to eat your eggs. Is very simple. As a matter of fact, I will do a video this week and show you guys the easiest and quickest way to poach an egg. I'll blow you guys away with how easy it is to poach eggs, and they'll come out perfect every single time. As a matter of fact, I will poach an egg in tomorrow's video and show you guys. I'll do a regular video, but I'll poach an egg at the end and just show you guys how easy it is to poach. And I will bet you that if you've never poached eggs before, once I show you this way to do it, you're going to be poaching eggs all the time. And you know, it's very simple. You know, get yourself something like a you know, a piece of whole grain toast or something, and some avocado. Avocados are great. They have great fats in them as well. Super high in vitamins and nutrients, minerals. But you know, avocado toast with a poached egg is a super wonderful meal to eat. You can, you know, take a nice piece of whole grain toast, a small piece, you know, chop up some avocado, throw that on top of your bread, maybe squeeze a little bit of lemon juice or some lime juice on there for some acid, a little bit of like coarse sea salt, kosher salt on top of that, and then 2 poached eggs on top, and maybe a little bit of drizzle of olive oil on top of there. Absolutely delicious, simple, and a dish that you can make in a matter of minutes every day, and you can hold your pinky up while you're eating it because it is kind of a classy meal. So anyway, like I said, I'll show you guys how to do that tomorrow, and I'm getting up to the 1 hour mark on today's video, so I need to hurry up. And my family are home now, and I've got to hurry up and get in here and cook my kids dinner. I did forget to mention really quick before I move on is that drinking water too is very important. You know, I was talking about not drinking soda, but drinking water or maybe tea or something like that. But water is very important as well to drink. I had a couple of tips here that I wanted to throw in really fast before we get off of here, and one of those tips is using heat pads and ice packs for the pain and the soreness with ascites. It's really going to put a lot of pressure on your stomach muscles. They are going to hurt. It's going to make your rib bones hurt because it's putting so much pressure there. Try using a heat pad, place that right on the stomach, right on the ribs, or maybe, and a lot of times we end up with back pain too because we've got all this weight pulling down on our stomach. But using a heat pad can help tremendously. And then if the heat pad stops working, maybe swap it out for an ice pack. Go hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. But it's a great way to help reduce pain. I put them on my stomach almost every single day because I get a lot of stomach aches. And when I get stomach aches, I am using heat pads or ice packs as a way to help ease my stomach pain. Watch, if you are dealing with ascites, please go back and watch my video. You're just gonna have to scroll through. I did it like last winter, like in February or something like that. But I did a video discussing how to lay in the bed with ascites. Please go back and watch that video and watch how I show how to set up your pillows and all that kind of stuff. I tried all kinds of different ways to get comfortable. I could not get comfortable because of the ascites, but once I figured out this method, I'm telling you, it was a game changer. Please go back and watch that video. I do a whole instruction. I actually lay in the bed and show you how I'm doing it. It does take a bunch of pillows to do so, but I show you exactly what pillows to buy if you don't have them, and how to set those up to make yourself the most comfortable that you possibly can. And another thing too, I had a hard time sleeping in the beginning. When I first found out I had ascites, my mind was just, it was a wreck. I was a mess because I had just been diagnosed. I was very ill. I was just having a really hard time going to sleep, and chamomile tea was one of those things that helped me out tremendously. I fell in love with it. I don't use it all the time. I use it very rarely now. Most of the time when I drink chamomile tea is before a procedure or surgery, because I get really nervous the night before and I have a hard time going to sleep. But the chamomile tea, if you're having a hard time sleeping right now and you're staying up all night long because you're just laying in the bed or sitting on the couch all day, try drinking some chamomile tea. It will help you to go to sleep. And I just wanted to, really quick before I get off here, just throw in a couple of things. I wanted to say that if you have recently been diagnosed, I am so sorry, with whatever kind of liver disease that you might have, or pancreatitis, or chronic pancreatitis, or whatever kind of alcohol induced disease that you might have. I just wanted to say that life does go on. And I know it can be really difficult in the beginning. You feel like your life is over, and sometimes you just want to give up and throw in the towel and say, why keep going? You never know what's in store for you, and you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You truly do not know. I did not think I was going to be here right now. They told me I had a year left to live. That was October of 2022. I should have been gone in October of 2023. And here we are, almost at October of 2025. I didn't listen to the doctors. In the beginning, I did. But I finally was like, I'm not listening to this. I'm going to continue to live my life. And that's what I did. And I urge you to do the same. Don't give up. Just keep living your life. Things might get better for you. I can't promise you that they will. I really can't. I don't know what your future holds for you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything is going to get better, that your condition's going to improve, because I don't know. I don't know your situation. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know how bad things are right now. But what I can tell you is that it's worth living every second that we have left on this planet. And try to fill your time in with doing the things that you enjoy, whatever you can, and try to spend as much time with your family as you possibly can, or friends, your loved ones. These are the moments that we have to try to repair those damaged relationships and apologize for things that we've done, because in addiction, we upset a lot of people, and we break a lot of friendships. We break a lot of bonds with our friends and our family. And these are the time that we might be able to repair those relationships. And once again, you just don't know what's ahead for you. Things could do a complete 180, and you might have become a candidate for a liver transplant in 2 months from now. You just don't know. You could get a whole brand new life and live for another 30, 40 years. Just keep living each day. Every day is a blessing. Every day that you wake up and the sun's up and you've got a whole new day ahead of you, just live in the moment. Live for the day. I can't promise you what's going to be in your future, but I can promise you that it is worth trying, and it is worth to keep going. There was many days that I almost gave up. There were so many dark thoughts that went through my head during those times. And I am so glad that I stuck through it, and I'm here today. I've made so many memories with my children that they'll never forget. I'll never forget. Memories with my wife, my daughter, my boys, memories with my parents, my in-laws. I have done so many things with them, had so many great conversations, and just spent so much time with them. Just last night, we all sat down and watched a movie together that my wife wanted to watch. And just being there, all of us together, because it's not often that I get I have my whole family together. My boys will be at school, my daughter's at work or at school, my wife's at work, and, everybody's got their things going on. My daughter's out with her boyfriend doing something, or they're on vacation, and it's just not very often that we're all together. And, nights like last night where we all came together and spent the night together just watching that movie, it was a very special moment, and I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. And you just don't know what memories you're going to create. And just hang tight and just live each day. That's all that we can do. We don't know if we're even going to be here tomorrow, but if you woke up today, if you wake up tomorrow and you have a brand new day, seize that day and live in that day, and just don't give up hope. That's all that we have in this life is hope. I almost gave up my hope many years ago. Well, not many years ago, but like 2 years ago, I almost gave up hope. And I didn't. I just kept holding tight. I just felt like something was in the future, and there was, and there is, and there's still. I don't know what the future holds for me. I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow, but I'm so glad and so blessed that I have today, and the same for you as well. I just wanted to share that little tidbit. Just don't give up. I know this is so difficult. It's so scary, and it can be really depressing. And in the beginning, when we first get diagnosed, we feel like our life is over, but it isn't. It really is not. Yeah, is this a speed bump? Of course. Is this going to impede you on doing certain things in life? It will. But okay, you can't do certain things anymore. Okay, but what can you do? Don't think about what you can't do. Instead, think about all the things that you can do. Think about things that that your body will allow you to do, and the experiences that you're going to be able to have, and the memories that you're going to be able to create. Another thing is talk to your doctor about a TIPS procedure. I had 2 TIPS procedures. The second one finally stuck. Yes, I have a full occlusion in my TIPS right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen to you. A TIPS can help out tremendously. It can really help to keep the ascites down, and it relieves that portal hypertension, which dramatically reduces the chance of a variceal bleed. TIPS helps out a lot. It's a thing that interventional radiology does most of the time, but speak with your GI doctor about a possible TIPS. There's only but so many hospitals out there that do them, but it's a great procedure, and it can prolong your life a good bit, and it can improve just your day-to-day life. So it's one of those things, talk with your doctor about. Another thing I wanted to add really quick in here, and I know this is going to sound gross, but please look at your poop. It's very important to do so. Your poop tells you, or your feces, however you want to say it, it tells a lot about your health. Take a look at it every single day. If you see anything odd, if your poop is white, for instance, take note of that. Call your GI doctor and let them know. If your poop is floating, keep note of that. Tell your GI doctor. If there is blood in there, you need to call your doctor immediately. Another thing as well, keep track of your eye, the whites of your eyes. Keep track of the look of your skin. If you start to see any yellowing or orangish color going on in your eyes or on your skin, it's another thing. Please contact your doctor immediately. That means that it could mean that your bilirubin levels are elevated and you're starting to develop jaundice, and you want to catch that soon. So please speak with your doctor about that, because they probably need to go ahead and do some blood work. Another thing too, you're probably going to need help getting around, especially in the beginning, especially if you just ended up in the hospital, you had a varices burst, because this is how it happens a lot of times. just one day we get sick and start throwing up blood, and next thing you know, we end up in the emergency room, and then we're admitted to the hospital, and then before you know it, we're back home. We spent 2-3 weeks in the hospital, and then we come back home and we don't know where to start. And that's what this video is for today, is for those of you who have recently been diagnosed and you don't know where to begin. You don't know what to do. You're probably going to need help getting around, especially if you have ascites right now. You're going to need somebody to help you get back and forth to doctor's appointments, which unfortunately is about to become a regular part of your life, but it's okay. But you're probably going to need help right now getting back and forth. So, maybe find a family member, a good friend, or maybe you have to call Uber or something, but you're probably going to need help getting back and forth to the doctor's appointments or places that you're going to need to go to. Whether it be the grocery store, picking up your medications, or just getting back and forth to the doctor. But I would try to find somebody to help. And then last but not least, that I wanted to throw in here is that you definitely want to make sure that you are getting some loose fitting clothes, jogging pants, sweatshirts, and like hoodies work great too. But make sure that you have things that are loose fitting, elastic band pants. I would make sure, maybe go to the store or ask somebody to go to the store for you and pick you up a couple of pairs of jogging pants and maybe like a jogging shirt or two or a couple t-shirts that are a couple sizes bigger than what you normally wear. You don't know what the size of your belly is going to, come to, how big it's going to get. And when you have ascites as well, it's really hard to bend over and all that kind of stuff. And just getting clothes on and off can be rather difficult with ascites. So you want to make sure that you're getting clothes that are easy to get on and off, like jogging pants are. And having elastic band clothes are going to allow for your stomach to grow or shrink. But I would get, something rather baggy, shirt and pants. And then on top of it as well, make sure that you've got some shoes that you don't have to bend over to put on. Something that you can slide your foot in and out of with ease, whether that be slippers or some kind of sneakers. Like I think Skechers now has like a shoe that you can just slide right on your foot and you don't have to hold on to it. But shoes like that are going to be really good for you right now. Because like I said, when you have that ascites and all that fluid in your belly, it's hard to bend over and put on shoes and tie your shoes. You just want to be able to slip your foot in and out of them. The elastic band pants are going to allow for the growth or shrinkage of your belly, and it's just going to be a lot more comfortable. And when you have all that fluid, your belly is shaped like this, right around here where your like pubic area is, it's going to push your pants down. It's hard to keep them up. And if you just have an elastic band pants, you can kind of keep pulling those back up. You don't have to worry about because you're not going to be able to keep your pants up with a belt either way. Just the elastic pants are going to help you out tremendously. And having a little bit bigger of shirts, is going to allow for one to kind of hide that belly a little bit, because it is a little bit embarrassing when you go out in public. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's okay, but we all do have that. We don't want to walk out in public with this humongous belly. Trust me, I know. But getting clothes that are a little bit bigger can just help to conceal that a little bit more, and it just makes it a little bit easier too, more comfortable for you. But guys, that is it for today. And I am at like an hour and 20 minutes. I did not mean for today's video to go on as long as it did. And I think it's like almost 7:30 at night right now. So I have got to get off of here and get this video, start the process and edited for tonight. I already know it's going to get up rather late. But I'm sorry that the video was as long as it is, but I probably could have gone on for 3 hours talking about this. But like I said, I promised I was going to do this video today. And for the lady that I spoke with, I can't remember your name, who I promised I would do this video for, I hope this video helped. I hope this video helps you and your husband. I hope this video helps anybody out there who is dealing with recently being diagnosed with liver disease of whatever type. I hope that this helps you out. And I hope that you learned something. And I hope you could take something away from this. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. And now I got to go in here and cook dinner. My day is not ended at. I have not sat down one time today, other than when sitting here right now and when I was sitting on my tractor. But I haven't had a chance to like just take a break yet. And I need to decompress. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop, guys. One day at a time. I hope everybody is staying sober today. If you have recently relapsed, like I said yesterday, it's okay. Just pick yourself back up and let's try again tomorrow. Just don't give up. Keep trying. That is all that we can do. Practice makes perfect, and you can't expect to get it in one go. Just keep trying, guys. So with that said, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And until tomorrow, I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great rest of your day.